everyone. My name is Blake and I'm actually not in Atlanta. I live in Wilmington, North Carolina. I am from Georgia originally and still have all my a lot of my family is in Georgia. And this community that you're a part of here is very important to me. And I was thinking that I might share with you a little activity before we read a story. So I just went on a walk in my yard. Didn't go far, just walked around my yard, and I am noticing bits of spring everywhere. Little bitty signs that spring is here. And I think right now we all need those signs of spring, right? So I wanted to share with you what I found. Okay, I'll make sure you can see those. The first thing I found is on the ground. And this is, I'll get it closer, little bitty seeds. Do you see those little seeds? They're inside my jar here. They're kind of hard to see. Let me see if I can find one for you. There's one on my fingertip. Look how little that is. Oh my goodness, it is so tiny, this seed. And this seed is a great sign of what is to come. The next thing I found on a very big bush-like plant was this little bud. Do you see this bud? Does anybody have a guess what this will turn into? A flower. Do you see the leaves on the bud? It's a beautiful color, isn't it? So what happens after the seed and then the bud? Starts to bloom and it opens up. You see this beautiful flower? This flower is an azalea, a type of an azalea. It's a small variety. You might have azaleas in your own yard. So I encourage you, next time you're looking out your window or taking a walk in your neighborhood, to look for flowers that might look like this. Now this azalea is not done growing yet, so let's look at one that is. This one is fully formed and fully opened, and it has two beautiful blooms on one plant with leaves. Do you see this? I don't know about you, but things like this make me so happy and give me great, great comfort. To see things growing in nature right now is what we all need. Signs of life all around us, right? So again, it started out as a teeny, teeny, tiny seed. See that little seed? Itty bitty seed. Then next came the bud and the leaves. And then next our flower petals started to open up. We can start to see what the flower is going to look like. And then finally our flower is in its final stage and all of the petals have opened up. Do you see that? Wow, look at that. Awesome, so those are our stages of our flower growth. Now, this was just one flower. I'm letting the rest continue to bloom and grow in my yard because I want them to bring my neighbors joy as they walk past. I want them to continue to bring me joy and my family joy as we walk outside. So I'm going to let them live there and see how long they can be so beautiful. A lot of them were in varying stages, so I think we'll have beautiful flowers on our bush for a while, a long time to come. So I want to see if you can do something with me. Let me get this out of the way. Do we remember the stages of the flower? I bet we do. We started out as a teeny tiny seed. Can you make yourself into a teeny tiny seed? Let's see. I bet a lot of you can do it a little bit better than I can right now. Let's see. Bring those legs in. Squeeze in tight. If you can do it, crawl on the ground. Make yourself as tiny, 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 tiny as you can. Remember, this little seed fit on my fingertip. So imagine you are a tiny seed that can fit on your fingertip. Make yourself so little. And then what do flowers need to bloom and grow? They need rain. We've seen a lot of rain. So imagine you're deep under the soil, it's dark, it's comfortable, and then it starts to rain and the soil starts to get wet, and then the sun comes out. Let's see if you can see yourself start to grow like the flower. Can you start to stretch a little? Oh, come out of that teeny tiny seed. Start to stretch and grow. Let's see if you can break through the earth. Are you ready? Okay, we're gonna push through that hard soil that's softened by the rain. And one little twig is going to come up and grow. Do we think we can make another one grow? Let's see. Oh, reach, pop out of that soil. Really reach for that sky. And your little twigs have started to grow. Oh, and more rain and more sun help you grow and grow and grow into a giant bush with green leaves, just like we saw. And now imagine that your hands are our bloom. Can you make your hands a bloom like this? Oh, like that. And they're all together. Oh, nice and tight. Remember, that bloom was not open. Then I want you to imagine that your fingers are individual petals. Can you make those petals pop open just like they did on our flower? Another one, and another one, and another one. Oh, we're starting to grow. We're in that middle stage. Remember where our bloom is just open just a little? Can everyone grow with me and make your bloom grow even bigger until it's totally open? I'm imagining that my flower is a big white flower. I want you to think about what your flower looks like. This could be inspired by a flower you've seen in nature, or it could be a flower in your imagination. It could be a tie-dyed flower. It can look like whatever you want it to look like, but I want you to take a moment to imagine what your beautiful flower bloom looks like. Wow, great work, everyone. Thank you. That was great. Okay, so now I do have a story I brought to share with you. And this story is called The First Strawberries. Now, I grew up in North Georgia, about an hour north of Atlanta. And one thing that you might know about the area is the first people, the native people there, were the Cherokee Native Americans. So this story is called The First Strawberries. I don't know about you, but strawberries have just started to grow here in North Carolina. And so a lot of people may have strawberries as snacks right now if they're able to get their hands on them. I know that could be a little tricky. But there's another element to this story I want you to listen for and be aware. And I'll get a little closer so that you can see the pictures. Okay. The First Strawberries. And this is a Native American Cherokee legend. Long ago, when the world was new, the Creator made a man and a woman. The two of them were made at the same time, so neither would be lonesome. They married, and for a long time they lived together and were happy. Here's a picture of what their home looked like. Then one afternoon, the man came home from hunting and found the woman had not yet begun to prepare their meal. Instead, she was out picking flowers. There she is picking flowers. The man grew angry. "I am hungry," he said in a cold voice. "Do you expect me to eat flowers?" Now the wife too became angry. She had picked those flowers to share their beauty with her husband. "Your words hurt me," she said. "I will live with you no longer." Oh, they are not feeling happy with each other. She turned to the west and began to walk toward the sun. Her husband followed, but her steps were too quick. He could not catch her. He called her name. She could not hear him. He went as fast as he could, but his wife was much faster. There they are walking. The sun watched as the husband followed her. The sun saw how sorry the man was, and he took pity on him. "Are you still angry with your wife?" asked the sun. "No," said the man. "I was foolish to speak angry words, but I cannot catch her to tell her I am sorry." "Then I will help you," said the sun. The sun shone its light down on earth in front of the woman. Where its light shone, raspberries grew up. The berries were ripe and looked good to eat, but the woman paid no attention to them and continued walking. The sun tried again. It shone down and blueberries grew. They glistened brightly in the sunlight, but the woman paid no attention to them. She only walked toward the west, leaving her husband further and further behind. Now the sun tried a third time, and where its beams touched the earth, blackberries grew up. They were dark and plump, but the woman's anger was too great, and she did not see them. At last the sun tried its hardest. It shone its light down on the grass right in front of the woman's feet, and strawberries appeared. They glowed like fire in the grass, and the woman had to stop when she saw them in front of her. Strawberries down on the ground. She notices them. She knelt down and plucked one and bit into it. She had never tasted anything like it before. Its sweetness reminded her of how happy she and her husband had been together before they quarreled. "I must gather some of this fruit for my husband to share," she said, and began to pick the berries. She was still picking them when the man caught up to her. "Forgive me for my hard words," he said to her, and she answered him by sharing the sweetness of the strawberries. So that is how strawberries came into this world. To this day, when the Cherokee people eat strawberries, they are reminded to always be kind to each other, to remember that friendship and respect are as sweet as the taste of ripe red berries. There's some beautiful ripe red berries. So one thing that struck me about this book is we're all stuck at home a lot with our families, and sometimes we can get frustrated, and sometimes we can use harsh or angry words to speak to our families and the people we love. But that doesn't mean we don't love them. It just means that we're feeling angry and we don't know what else to say. So I would encourage you, just like this family in our book, even if you've said those harsh, angry words, you take a minute and you think, is that what I really meant? Is that what I was trying to say? And think if you can use different words or a different voice to talk to your family. And remember the strawberries, the sweetness of the strawberries. And remember how much you really love those people, even when you feel angry with them. Because it's only natural to feel angry with people you love. So, in this time of togetherness, when we're all stuck together, I encourage you to really remember this legend. And also, if you have any strawberries, go ahead and taste them. They're quite delicious. Thank you all for joining me, and I hope your Monday has been, that you've had some nice moments in this Monday. And I hope that you're able to find the nice moments every day. I know, sometimes they're a little tricky, but try to notice them.
Okay, have a good day. Bye.